Okay, and then I'll tell you once we go live. I'll bring this in once it goes up.
Right, thank you.
Catch them off guard here.
Yeah, I don't know what's hit them.
Yep. Okay, it hasn't flipped over. Now it's flipped over. There we are. Yep. Okay, so yeah, I haven't been up here in a while, hasn't it? Yep. I sure haven't. Oh my God, didn't take that long, person. That person was in here as quick as I went live. I'm
You're
live,
as famous
yes.
as
Oh
ever.
my gosh, and Ron Fan's even here. Oh my gosh. And
Hey,
Reverend
Ron.
20 piece. Oh my God, we even got Reverend 20 piece in here. Yes, sir. Just as quick as I come up, everybody just bing, 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 bing. Yeah, I showed
Everyone's in
early again,
lockdown.
didn't I? Yep, I sure did. You guys in here? Oh man, they heard Harry. Did they hear Harry? Oh yeah, they might have. Yep.
I'm in the lockdown too. So
Yeah, I'm still alive, guys. Yeah, I know. I shut the show down, didn't I? Yeah. Yeah, there was no point in doing that show, you know. Why do I want to do that? Let's look at the reality of things. The reality of things is I'm somebody that lived TFL, and I'm also somebody that had somebody in my life for many years, and also somebody that had somebody else in my life, and I'm also somebody that had a child and raised a child. But yet, all you idiots in the dating scene know more than I do. So when I give you sound advice, and even if you never had a woman in your life, I'm completely nuts and off my rocker, and that's not the way it'd be. So you deserve your loneliness. So I walked away. What can
oh,
I
totally,
say?
Bill. You've been up here like for years, and some people give you respect, obviously, but you got a lot of trolling and a lot of abuse just coming up here and telling the truth and being a good guy. You had
Yeah.
enough of it in a lot of ways.
Isn't that what happens when you come up and tell the truth? You know, you come up and tell the truth and you get hated on. How dare
Yeah.
him?
Oh, the best of men are the most persecuted. That's a very old tale, even in the Bible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, anyhow, Harry and I were just doing a bunch of talking, talking about the human brain and the reptilian brain and how they do have a very similar. I mean, when you look at the reptilian brain and you look at the human brain, you see, very interesting. You can't even get around it. Okay. So, we were talking a little bit about that, of course, and speculation on what it really is, like when you die. Okay. You don't really die. I know that for a fact. When you die, you're still alive in a spirit form, one way or another. I know that because of my own life experiences. I've talked about that before, but I haven't gone into detail. Yeah, but when it comes to
Yeah.
truth, some things I sit on a fence with, like this. Here's one good one for you. Okay, I think this one's here. I think is funny. You all know that shield, that CIA agent called Alex Jones? You know that piece of crap over there called
Rings a
Alex
bell.
Jones? Yeah, that guy. Yeah, she might ring a bell. Ring a bell. Yeah. Okay, and then he's got his website, prisonplanet.com. Okay. What do you want to bet he didn't even create that damn site? I'll bet you he didn't even come up with the name himself. I'll bet you that name was handed to him. I don't think that guy's created anything. I think it's all been handed to him.
I think he's just an articulate mouthpiece for other people.
There you go. Well,
Got a lot of them out there. It's all part of a team, isn't it? That's why they're so professional. They have their mouthpiece, then they have their thinkers, the people who write it for them. And it's a
right.
whole this big
And then they
team,
have
well
the
organized.
yeah, and then he has his Hollywood studio. He has his Hollywood studio. Warner Brothers. Yeah, how do you think he made them professional documentaries? You talk about pulling the
Yeah,
blanket right over people's face.
yeah. Oh, I'm sure he created that technology himself. This guy's a Superman. He can do everything.
Oh, there
He's
he
got all
goes.
these different skills.
Yep, that's super mouth. I mean, super mouth. That fits better.
He lived a million years. That's how much experience he need to have to do all
Yeah, I've been
that. Yeah.
busy, guys. As I haven't been doing no videos, haven't done no live streams, and I've been just busy doing my own thing and watching the show play out, watching Agenda 21 come in, and the more I look, the more I see Agenda 21. The more I look, the more I see it, and it's still going on right now, and I'm watching it go on, and I was talking with Joe the other day over in Melbourne, Australia, and yeah, they're in lockdown. And I was laughing at Bill Gates because I watched something Richard from Boston put up on Bill Gates, and you got Bill Gates right up there saying, telling the people in America that if we had done what Australia was one of the countries. He said three countries, and if we had done what Australia done, we wouldn't be in a situation we're in. Hold on, Australia's on lockdown. uh, they can't even leave their house but to go like 500 meters to a store and back. And there's a food shortage coming there too, by golly, as meat plants
Uh,
have burned and some fields they didn't have the workers to harvest the fields, so they plowed the fields over and buried the food in the ground.
they do what they're told. They're good slaves, so they're going to get worse, or sorry, they're going to get better treatment than people
Well,
who
you know,
disobey.
you
The bad
got,
people, they deserve to get
yeah,
worse.
we got somebody saying there, hey, buy the Bitcoin. Might as well. It's made by the Rothschild dynasty.
Hell yeah,
The
totally.
Bitcoin
That's
is right from the Federal
sure.
Reserve. It's the Rothschild dynasty who created that. Don't
That's the
believe me? Go do
Industrial
your homework.
Revolution, artificial intelligence, blockchain, AI. You know, getting all of these processes that used to be done by accountants, pen and paper, done by people. All this banking, you can get that automated on a blockchain where it's kind of written down forever and written into the code, and then they can spew it through their system. And in that way, they're saving a lot of money from employing a lot of useless leaders in their eyes.
Oh, there you go. There you go. But I'm not against him talking about the Bitcoin because I'll tell you what, if you're going to invest in anything in today's time and era, you better be digital money because your currency's about ready to go bye bye, adios, goodbye, amigo. And if you've invested into the Bitcoin, well, at least, even though they're going to be following everything you do and there's no more buying anything under the table because they got their nose parked all the way in your anal this time.
Maybe you'll have a bit more money and do better than the rest of us slaves. Still be a slave though, but one with a lot of green.
Oh, yeah, I know.
So that helps.
Well, you know, that's the thing about America, man. We went for years with the American dream. I don't know why anybody didn't wake up because that's exactly what it was, a dream.
Yeah, they were given, what were they given? They were given the cake or the soup. So they were given a bit of, they were basically sold us out like cows. You know, they were given all the nice grass, got real fat, and now it's time to pay the price. Now it's time to go to the slaughterhouse, but they got the grass and they took the grass because they wanted it. The green grass, the green money.
Yeah, you know, a long hiker says the letters I get have the name Rothschild or Rothschild on it. Well, of course it does. Who do you think's running the show, man? Who do you think the elite are? Bankers. Always have been and always will be. 13 families, yeah, that are all bankers, by the way.
It's crazy though. Like that guy was saying earlier about these boomers and the American dream. Like it used to be 100 years ago, I believe only 10 or 6% of Americans were employed by other people, and like 90% were self-employed. But nowadays, it's like 90% are employed and only 10% are self-employed.
There's a lot of good
So
way to
it's
be a
completely,
slave. Yeah,
you're dependent upon your employer.
yeah, if you're dependent on somebody else, you know, it is what it is, man. Money is the root of all evil, and money is what so many people have sold out for. You know, I mean, think about our system. Our system is set up so we all compete.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're
Oh
all
yeah, yeah.
competing with each other, and then you wonder why you hate each other's guts. Look at the manosphere. You guys couldn't get along if you tried, man. You're busy throwing each other under the bus. You all think you know more than you know, and you're busy dumping each other underneath the bus every chance you get, man. And you get some people up here that just drop to their knees and worship somebody named Steve Hoka, and well, can we? The list just goes on and on and on of idiots.
Well, yeah, no, you're competing to get a job from another person who's like in a higher position, so they have the power, and then there you have to respect them. No, be their bitch, but on the people on the same power level as you're going to try and dump on them.
Oh,
That's how
I
it
know, I
works.
know. And you're gonna walk on them, try to dump on them, try to wipe your feet on their face to get rid of them, so they ain't got no competition. You know, I like what Dean said here. He says it'd be nice to get rid of the 13 families. Oh, I agree. By golly, I totally agree with that. If I could get rid
Uh,
of the 13 families, man, them fuckers would be gone.
I know they live in a completely different reality than us. We're like, we are the prison planet, we're the slaves, and they're like the prison owners or something, these bankers. So I believe. I could be wrong on that.
Yeah. Well, you know, Dean, I have given thought that we could start a new monetary system and take the power up from underneath them. But you're going to have an army, and I mean a big army to do that because these 13 families will use their tool to pay suckers who will take the tool and arm themselves to come and take you out for creating that new currency. Okay, we need to do that, or we need to just go after these 13 families and lock them fuckers up and never throw away the key, never let them out again, and take everything they ever owned and give it back to the people of this world.
It's pretty easy to control everything when you own a monetary system because you can pay people to do whatever you want and then get other people to do the dirty work for you.
That's exactly what they're doing, Harry. That's exactly what they're doing. You know, look at the technocrats. That's a big thing. The technocrats are the people that are bringing all this shit in. For what? The tool.
Yeah, I know. They're getting paid to enslave the rest of us and probably, fuck themselves over in the long term. But it's like these cows again. They're eating their grass. They're getting their green money. They're not really worrying about tomorrow or the
Oh,
slaughterhouse.
Harry, they went green. They're going green. Oh my God, they're saving the world. They're going green.
Oh yeah, colors are language. So yeah, we're going green, green money, going green. Grass is green. Maybe we can eat grass like cows next door. Totally.
You know, I'd like to take some green paint and nail these fuckers that want to go green here. Hold on. Psh, 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 psh. There you go. Now you're green. Are you enjoying that green? Would
Maybe
you
they'll
like
start
to? Would you
photosynthesizing.
like to? Well, who's on the $100 bill of the end, or is it Benjamin Franklin or something? Trying to think who's
Yeah.
on that. Yeah. Okay. Would you like the picture of Benjamin Franklin on your arm when I paint you green?
And then, of course, what's else in them dollar bills? That big pyramid of the islands.
Ah, there you go. By golly. And where's
Oh,
that
what's the
place
symbolism
David
behind that?
Icke lives? Isn't that sort of like Silicon Valley?
The Isle of Wight, yeah, you have to be really rich to get citizenship there.
Ah, that's like the Silicon Valley of America. There you go. My God, the Isle of Wight. Yeah, there you go.
Even better, like a private island for the wealthy.
Ah, that's for the really, really wealthy then. Yeah, yeah.
So you can tell by the fact that he lives there that he's getting plenty of money and he's got plenty of power and connections. He was even a radio presenter for the BBC News, That's like paid by the taxpayer. That
There you
news
go.
channel.
I bet he's a Freemason too. I don't even want to bet.
I've heard it. So
I'll bet he's a
it's kind of funny you're
Freemason
bringing
too,
that
man.
up.
I'll bet you he's freaking right there, man. He's part of that club that we not allowed to be in.
Yeah.
There you go.
Unfortunately, it always goes back to them. Always.
Oh, Ben Franklin's going to be replaced by A.L. Sharpton. Al Sharpton. I'm a $100 bill. Okay. Well,
I
he
don't even
might
know who
want to
Al
be.
Sharpton is.
He might want to be on the new Bitcoin. Is that going to be $1 too?
Maybe like 10 Satoshis will be $1 at some point, which is like it's like a fraction of a Bitcoin.
Well, we know that Kodak, that company that used to make cameras and film, that place. Yeah. We know that they got a contract and that they've been working on the new digital currency and they've created a new digital currency. No lie, fact. Okay, this is all stuff that's out there. Everybody does their homework, they'll find it. The Bitcoin's sitting there ready to go right now. The digital money is ready to go.
The Bank of England are also heavily involved in the digital currencies. They have a lot of partnerships with these digital currency startups.
Yeah.
Well, these people knighted by, these sirs knighted by the Queen, basically. Not the,
I don't know. I think I'm going to vote for Harry to be president. What do you think, guys? No, I don't want him to be president. I want him to be a king. I'll call him King Harry.
Oh, but I wasn't born into it. I'm one of you suckers, so I'm the same boat now.
Oh no, you're a nobody too, so am I.
I'm one of the guys who has to compete with everybody else to get by. And they probably want to bash my head in for rock. A lot of people on my level. Yeah, they want to bash my head with a rock, but wear their masks and bow down to these kings and whatever who are born above them, of course, don't we know?
Oh no, sirens are coming. Here we go.
Quick, they're going to throw us in a cage.
Oh no, they got a cage lined up. Oh, they flew by. Okay. They're going over to that Nazi place across the street where the Nazis hang out.
Oh, the hospital?
Yeah, that's the Nazi place. You know, them where the Nazis hang out. Put on your muzzle.
Yeah.
You can't come in here unless you wear a muzzle.
All these doctors who know what's going on with the whole thing. They know their masks will protect you from nothing, but
Oh, but you know what's crazy? You want to know how stupid America is? At least I can say last week, London and Germany had massive protests going on, and they wasn't protesting Black Lives Matters or defund the police. No, they wasn't doing that. They were protesting against that invisible bug and the 6 foot distancing and the muzzles that you're putting on your face. Now, there's some countries that woke up and is using their brains and not their anals to think with, okay? But here in America, no, we couldn't do that. My God, we got to follow orders. I know they're leading me to a cliff, but don't worry, I'll willingly walk over the cliff and fall to my death. Matter of fact, if we put a glass of water down there, it'll land on my head.
Oh, I feel bad for the Americans. Like a lot of them drive automatic. They don't even. A lot of them can't even drive, manual cars with a gear stick. I know you can, Bill. You can drive a manual car.
I don't understand it. A standard transmission is easy as shit to drive. Okay, I've been driving them for years. It's no big deal. Matter of fact, I love driving them. And you got all these people around me, man. They see my car and they go, "I can't drive this." Why? Well, it's a standard. I can't drive this. Ah, I see.
I wonder if it's something they put in the food or whatever it is. They have a lot of stuff in the American food that they don't have in the European Union under their food, which is illegal to put in our food.
I see Corey showed up in here. How's it going, Corey? Long time no hear. You must not be out there doing your thing, Just don't let your thing become pleasing American citizens.
Well,
for the sick idiots. I know you're in a bad spot, though. You really are.
It's just paycheck, it's living, kind of. You have to do it, don't you? Or else you get court-martialed from the cage. So.
Ah, well, that's cool, Corey. You're on leave. Okay, that's cool, If you got a spaceship, Corey, I wouldn't mind being on leave, too. Maybe, Harry, you could pick us up on the way by with your spaceship when we get the hell out of here.
We can go off to a forest somewhere. That's all we have left.
I don't trust them, man. They're on fire. We got over 500 fires burning in the United States right now. How many of you know that? I was listening to somebody yesterday who called in the Monograph show. It was up in Loveland, Colorado. And they were talking about the ash that's coming. And they smell the smoke like the wood's burning right next door to them and ash all over the place. And I know Pam's mother said that, yes, she had to get a water hose out and wash off her vehicle because it was covered in ash. There's literally over 500 fires burning in the United States right now. Oh, by the way, that's Agenda 21.
Goes back to the words of Kissinger. If you don't agree with our New World Order, we're going to make the world burn, or the world will be set on fire. We'll set the world on fire.
Colorado's burning, California's burning. I mean, you look at the map of all the fires going on in America right now, there's over 500 fires burning.
I'm not surprised because Kissinger a few months ago said the same thing, He's the one probably starting the fires or involved in the group doing it.
Yeah. So I was just laughing because Pam's mother woke up and had to wash off her vehicle to get the ash off the vehicle. Okay, and then of course, and then you got this guy that called into Monty's show, and he's from Loveland, Colorado, and he was saying what it smells like. It's like the woods burning right there and ash all over the place. And and you look at the map of all the fires that are burning, and it's like, wow. Okay, but then what do you expect? They're bringing in Agenda 21 right in everybody's face, and then our governor got up here last week, and well, she had it all worked out, man. This is the numbers are going up again, by golly. Yep, the numbers are going up again, and this time the age bracket's from 18 to 40. Huh.
Uh-huh.
There you go. Not even count the United Nations PDF file that we were looking at in the map of all the BS that's going on there.
We got to stop the next generation from having children. Take them out too.
Oh,
This time it's
yes.
for real, though.
Hey, they're going to get their population reduction, especially here in America. I mean, at least London and Germany, they had some balls and clits. They got up and protest what should be protest. In America, we don't do that now. What color am I supposed to dump today? And how high would you like me to shit today? There you go. Well, I want to fit in.
Well, I think even if you do protest, I mean, I hate to say it, but I don't think there's hope either way. I think they will start releasing these bugs sooner rather than later. I believe September's the time. So now them people protesting in London and Germany are going to look real nuts whenever people start dying. And they will get blamed on them for doing the protests because it's all upside down.
Oh, yeah.
That'll be the lie. That'll be the official story they use. And then all the sheep will go along with the story because they can't think for themselves. And not realize that it was actually intentionally dropped on them and think that viruses just mutate and start killing everybody all the time. So,
Yeah.
it's the new normal.
And Reverend 20 Piece asked me, he says, have the police in Clinton been defunded? No, they haven't defunded no police yet, but when they do defund the police, it's going to only become worse. Because then what you'll have is you have privatized law enforcement that'll be following Rothschild dynasty's orders, and you ain't seen nothing yet. That's when real tyranny happens, because all this shit's fraudulent. The George Floyd thing, you couldn't get any more fraudulent if you tried. 2 George Floyds on the scene, man. One with hair and one without. The one without had a cop's knee on his neck. The one with hair was standing on the walk in handcuffs being led to the building. But they were both George Floyd. So what they do, shave his head before they put him on the ground?
Well,
Yeah. He might have cut out on me. Got some
can you hear me?
Yeah, you are. I guess it's just a little static, no big deal. Probably,
Probably something's up technically there, but in England up until the 1800s, tell me if they static again, but they used to have paid mercenaries instead of their police force. That's what the police replaced, and these mercenaries were getting paid by these people who had the money, these nobles and elites, and that was your only police force, really. It was completely corrupt back then, and they had less human rights then than you really did.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, this defunding the police is only part of destabilizing America, as part of bringing America down. And if you can't see they're ripping your country out from underneath you and bringing you down, if you're still sound asleep to that and think all this is all over now because they gave you a little bit of freedom, I mean, that's like a kid in a candy store, man. They fucking offered you a sucker or a piece of bubble gum and you ran for it and didn't pay attention to what was around you. Same damn thing.
Right, at least with the police, that was sort of a public service, or it's put forward as such. I know there are people. I know it's corrupt, and there are certain people they can't go after, but at least there's an illusion there or something. But I believe they're going to be out in the open whenever they get rid of the police and replace it with something a lot more totalitarian, and they're basically going to admit to you that there's no law to protect you to your face.
Oh yeah.
Sad.
Well, I was considering. I think the last time people seen me up here was when I was standing there waving at the traffic wearing a sheep mask. That's right. Okay. And I had Brian with me over there filming me while I was doing it, So I think that's the last thing
Yeah.
you guys saw up on my channel is when I went over there and waved at the traffic with a sheet mask on. I thought about walking into establishment, but then I could just see I had all kinds of shit. So I no, I'll stick to a public walk because they can't use you on private property. Okay, no, I'm on a public walk up yours, and they won't like me if the cops stop and I'm wearing a sheet mask. I'll have a talk with them. They won't like, and I'll hold them accountable for not going after Mr. Fauci, our
Hmm.
senator, oh freaking our senator over there in 2018 up in Congress who openly said there was going to be a pandemic during the Trump administration. Oh, by the way, the test kits they're using for that invisible bug, there's documentation that shows that all that shit was already made and shipped during 2018. Every one of them fraudulent tests was freaking done up in 2018 on the pandemic.
It's amazing that they have these vaccines ready after like coming in November, supposedly.
And
But they
how
still don't
many
have
of
the
you,
vaccines for these other
exactly. And
diseases.
how many of you people in the room are going to willingly go get a needle shoved in your arm? Are you going to get the vaccination shot? Are you going to get that?
No,
You
I'm not
know,
going to get it.
these people protected themselves. You can't sue them and you can't prosecute them. If they shove that needle in your arm and you become handicapped from it, crippled for life, or die, they're not going to be prosecuted. You can't sue them because they have protected themselves against anybody being able to prosecute or sue. And then you're going to let them put that needle in your arm? What are you, idiot?
But if you don't get it, then they're going to try and keep you out of the workplace and say you're not allowed to buy or sell
I
or
know,
work.
yeah. Well, they'll say that, well, they'll probably say, like what I heard they were going to tell people over in Australia, that they're not going to force the vaccination on you, right? That you'll have a choice.
You won't get any money.
Though, however, if you don't take the vaccination shot, you choose to say no, then you won't be able to shop at a grocery store. You won't be able to travel. You won't be able to get on a public bus or a public
You
cab to
won't be
get a
able to own
ride.
property.
That's
No
right.
property.
You won't be able to rent. You won't be allowed to live in a renter's place. You won't be able to blah, blah, blah. So, see,
You'll be
by the time
homeless.
they're done, said and done, it'll be like, what do you mean I have a choice? Yep, your choice is starve to death and die, or let us kill you with our needle.
Let us kill your balls with our needle anyway. That's why the sperm count's dropping in the West over we have like a quarter of the sperm than a man in the 1950s, and nobody seems to. The elite don't seem to care about it. There seems to be no push to try and solve that problem, but that's because they want that to happen. They want our sperm to be dead and us not be able to get women pregnant. So the
That's
vaccine's a
it.
good way of them doing that one.
Well, it seems like their agendas are working out just great, man. They keep carrying on with them and keep carrying on with them, and nobody does anything about it. And the only people I've seen with some gonads in the last couple of weeks would be over in London and Germany. Haven't seen any of that out of Americans yet. The land of the
Yeah.
enslaved, not the land of the free. Quit living in a dream. Trying to help you wake
Meanwhile,
up. There's no such thing as an American dream.
meanwhile, Bill, if you go out in the streets at night or whatever and you start speaking loudly, you'll have probably three different people trying to call the police on you and lock you up while they're still wearing masks. And but no, you're not allowed to even make a noise at night because you're not 40.
That's right. You ain't wearing a uniform in a position. That's right. You ain't in a man-made position, by golly. You're just a nobody.
So so we're all gonna fucking shit all over you and enjoy it. Get our little power trips because we're so powerless and we need to take our anger and get a power trip out of somebody. So we're not going to do it against the ones who really deserve it. We're going to do it against the ones that we can get away with doing it from because we're cowards.
That's really what it comes down to. That was a good point, Harry.
Thank you.
Because that is exactly what it comes down to.
It really is. It's a prison planet to take your words earlier. Like the majority of humanity just do what they're told. They go along with these 40s and they're trying to basically bring everybody else down with them, like zombies dragging you down if you disagree, and they're slaves and they get angry if you're not a slave on their level too.
Oh, I know. But
Like if you're not wearing a mask.
I said I might piss a few people off in here today, and I think I'm going to say something I know it's going to piss a few people off, but just calm down, hold yourself together. You know,
Okay.
I'm going to tell you something. See, I was taught this as a kid. I was taught it in Sunday school. That's right. I had to go to Sunday school every Sunday, and then after Sunday school, we'd go to church. Okay, so I learned this in Sunday school. God created the earth, then God created an animal, then God created Adam, and then God took a rib from Adam and created Eve. And so Adam and Eve were the first two people on the face of the planet. This is what I was taught as a kid. Okay. And then I think about that and I says, okay, so what if Adam and Eve were black? Where did I come from? And all you say, well, okay, what if they were white? Where did blacks come from? Then you get some clowns that come along and tell you, well, if you live in a certain area, the stripe will go blah, blah over time, and pixels of your skin change, and that's where they come from. So is that where the slanted eye people come from then? You mean if you live in a tropical climate or a different type of climate, your eyes will go slanted?
Right. Yeah, or them Eskimos. If you look at the Canadians or Russian Eskimos, like Inuits, they'll like black hair and dark eyes, and they live in the coldest parts of the planet.
Yeah, see, so. And I know I'm going to say that because in reality, if you use critical thinking skills in the way the stories that's being taught when it comes to your religion is division. And think about it. If the Bible was also good or the Quran was also good, that was the good word, that was blah, blah, blah. Now, I'm not saying we don't have a creator. I'm telling you, you've been lied to. And we've all been lied to our whole lives in gigantic ways, in ways you wouldn't even believe you were lied to.
Yeah, it's sad, but all the history books are a lie. Near everything you've been taught is a lie. Since from cradle to grave, basically, they mold you into the perfect slave.
Yeah. Well, you know what long hiker's talking about this vaccination thing. Yeah, it's supposed to be a DNA breaking vaccination. And it's going to leave marks where they can scan you, and they got a tattoo they want to put on you as well. So they'll
Yeah,
always know when you've been poked with a needle.
that makes sense because HIV was a DNA breaking virus, basically, but you could inject into with a needle, and that was created by the same source giving you these vaccines today.
Yeah. But as far as these people that tell you that viruses are created within the body and there's no such thing as an airborne virus, they're full of shit. There is airborne viruses.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's definitely. And I think we're going to be seeing them in the next few months whenever they start releasing these real airborne viruses on us.
Yes, I do believe in the next few months, we're going to be seeing all kinds of breakouts. They'll just
Dropped
tell you,
them from the planes.
yeah, they're just going to tell you mutated. They forgot to tell you they sprayed them on your head. Or they
Yeah.
dropped off a bunch of nasty mosquitoes in there and you got encephalitis or, you know, you got a few things like that, like malaria, encephalitis. I mean, there's a whole list. You got to see the map. You got to see the map of the world. What they write off the United States, the United Nations website.
Right, because they released that last year, didn't they? Before
Yes.
this had even been coming out to the public. And in that website, they say that they're going to be dropping a lot of these viruses for real in September, which is this month.
Yep. And and the first thing I noticed is on the 2nd of this month, Governor Reynolds got up there and she right away immediately started talking about the numbers are going up. Yep. They're growing. We're getting more people tested positive. And I said, yeah, you know what happened? You tested positive for being a human being. Oh no, because what they're testing for is basically a chromosome that all of us have in our body that's linked to our immune system. It don't mean you're sick or anything. It's a fraudulent test with false positives.
It's predictive programming.
Yep.
Now they're coming out and saying we've all got something before or right as soon as they're beginning to drop it. So now we won't question where everyone's starting to get sick for real from out of nowhere. That second wave.
Yeah. Well, it's just sad, you know. Unfortunately, people are scared. You know, it's like when Mr. Oka
Right.
told me Deborah Tavares is just pushing fear porn. No, she's not. No, she's not at all. It may scare the hell out of you listening to her, but I'll tell you what, it's all backable. It's all backable, but nobody wants to look because they're too scared. They might see what they don't want to see with their own eyes. That's what
If
allows
you don't
this
mind me,
crap to come in. Go ahead.
if you don't mind me asking, what did this woman say, Bill? If you could let me know, I haven't really seen her.
Oh, Deborah Tavares talks about Agenda 21 and what's happening right now, and she lays it all out, even with the electricity in California, who owns the electric company there, who's actually running it is the Rothschilds. Okay?
Hmm.
And she lays it all out. All you got to do is go in your local city or town where you live and type in a search in your town to see if your town has any plans that match the sustainable development. If you hear the word sustainable development, that is Agenda 21.
Right. I was taught that in school back whenever I was like 12. So it's over here, definitely.
You know, but the reality is sustainable development is part of Agenda 21. And if you people around America would just look in the town they live in to see if their town or their city has anything to do with sustainable development, they're going to find it. It's everywhere. It's all over the world. It's all part of Agenda 21.
Even in the education system, get them when they're young.
Yep. See, that's the thing is Deborah Tavares actually is telling you the truth. It may scare the shit out of people, but it don't change the facts. Right now, it's playing out right in people's face. It literally is. They've already got the digital currency all ready to go. You got over 500 freaking fires burning. You've had how many businesses burned down? We had a freak storm come through this damn state. And when I first seen it, air raid sirens are going off, and I looked at the date. I says, "Oh, wait a minute. Once a month, they sound the siren. This ain't the day they sound the sirens." So I says, "Well, there must be a storm or something getting ready to come in, or it wouldn't be going off." So I went and looked up my local weather and found it was a national weather alert for freaking storm. And then I pulled up the radar and found the storm, and it was over 200 miles away from where I live. So I thought, why are they sounding the sirens now? That damn thing's over 200 miles away. It's going to be at least 5, 6 hours before it gets here. Wrong. An hour later, it was coming in my town, and 15 minutes later, it was gone. And at the end of that 15 minutes, there was trees down everywhere, roofs missing from buildings, trees down everywhere, and the power was out in pretty much the whole town. All
Right,
within
yeah.
15 minutes, I watched this crap go down, man. And I almost went to the basement, man. This was getting nasty, okay? And then the storm was gone. Okay, there was people without power for almost fucking 3 weeks in this town. I got lucky. I only went without it for almost 4 days, about 3.5 days.
Well, I was taught that one in school too, with the whole aluminium. You can put that in the air and that creates static electricity. It's a conductor. And then you can put that in the sky with your chemtrails. Drop that in the clouds. You can control the weather, create these thunderstorms and hurricanes and charge up the clouds.
Yeah. Well, that storm was over 200 miles away. It was on the other side of the west side of Iowa, on the west side of Des Moines. So that means it was at least 220 miles away. And it was in my town an hour later, which means that damn thing was traveling over 200 miles an hour to do that. And it made a straight shot
Right.
across the country. Then you got the hurricane that took place, I think it was Laura, that just went through Louisiana and all that area, and it came up almost the middle of the United States. There ain't no hurricane that comes up that high in the middle of the United States. That one did. And it made a straight shot off the East Coast. Okay, that is weather warfare. World War III is not going to be like all the gloom and doom shit you've been seeing. You're in the middle of World War III right now, whether you know it or not. It's going to be through the big old G, big old 5G.
I'm
Yeah.
sure you've been living in America for a long time, and you've probably never seen a storm like that. But how about your
No.
neighbors? Were any of
Well,
them like
I
old,
got a
or what
gal
did they say?
across the street who's 94 years old, and she was out in the yard working. And
Right?
she's a neighbor right across the street. And I went over there and was talking to her. And she said herself, in her 94 years on this earth, she's never seen anything like it. She's never seen a storm like that. And Cedar Rapids really got messed up. Yes, I see him bring up Cedar Rapids. Okay, they really got messed up from the storm, and this state lost 49% of its crops to that storm. You got to think
So it's
about
targeting the food supply.
Yeah, they are. Then we got a couple meat processing plants that burned to the ground. We got lumber mills, 3 of them that burned to the ground. This is no accident. They're setting
No.
you up for a food shortage.
Yeah, rationing. You're going to see a lot of rationing going on in the next few months. Like whenever they got rid of the food in the supermarkets a few months back, you're going to see that happening for real.
You are. You're gonna see. Things are only gonna get worse. They're gonna get really ugly and really nasty. And that's because we're
Yeah.
sitting back, allowing them to bring Agenda 21 in, and we're doing
6
nothing
months ago
about it.
was a warning.
Yeah.
It's a warning. Sorry. And then you're saying now it's the real one going ahead, aren't you?
Yeah, well, even if some radars to Lone Hiker are delayed over 15 minutes, it doesn't matter if they're delayed over 15 minutes. Still, the freaking where it was at on the radar was over 200 miles away. So, still, to be in my town within an hour, that thing was hauling ass. And the
You've
damage
lived
it
in
did was
Hurricane
just
Alley.
like, boom. What's that?
I think you've lived in Hurricane Alley most of your life, so you know what a hurricane or a weather is like.
I've lived through 3 different hurricanes, and grew up in where I'm at right now. And we get tornadoes and shit here as well. We get really nasty winters. And this winter is probably going to be the longest and darkest winter you've ever witnessed. You're going to be struggling to get food, and if you can make it through it without getting a disease and getting yourself killed off, good luck.
Sadly, because they aren't joking whenever they say that there's too many people alive. That's forefront of the agenda, going back to the Georgia Guidestones.
They are. They go right back to Georgia Guidestones. This is why I've told people what I've told people so many times. But I'm a nut job. I don't know what I'm talking about. And even the advice I gave in the dating arena to people was sound advice. But nobody wanted to hear it because I was so wrong. Because that's not the way it works in today's society, Bill. Well, then enjoy your misery. If you want to keep going along with the social engineering that led to the destruction of the genders, then just go ahead and enjoy it. Enjoy being alone because that's what you'll always be.
Well, you've really got to ask yourself, why are they bringing this in at the moment? Because they already had complete control. They already had the divorce courts and slaves who just do everything they're told. 10 years ago, I could have told you that people just obey their orders, follow the police. They already got the perfect slaves. They've been killing people like Bill Cooper for the last 20 years without any resistance. So they've already got total control, total freedom. They're able to do what they want to do. So the next step, why are they doing this if they've already got that? Well, the next logical step is to try and get rid of some of the useless leaders to save resources or whatever they want to do. So for sustainable development. So that is what we're seeing now is the next phase of the plan after total control.
I think their biggest fear would be if people ever woke up and rose up, they would be taken out of position. Because the elite get their power, the 13 families get their power from us, the people of this world. And as long as us, the people of this world, are scared shitless and follow orders, they got us right where they want us. The minute we rise up and just stop complying, they can't do squat about it. Oh, you're going to go to jail. Well, what happens if 500,000 people don't listen? Are you going to lock up 500,000 people one time? No, you're not.
No, so they're even risking the old system by doing this lockdown because a lot of people are beginning to wake up to this mask. So they really have a good reason for doing that, and that is to try and take a lot of us out, kill us. That's basically the idea.
Yeah.
Behind it.
You know, and,
No.
it's sad because they ordered a second lockdown on Germany and everybody hit the streets and set up yours. And they didn't get by with it. Then people hit the streets and protested over this invisible bug. And then London followed suit. I give London and I give Germany high kudos for doing that because at least them people are attempting to stop them. Can't say that about
Well,
America though.
it's a start. I suppose they cared about that, but they don't really care about criminality of the divorce courts or any of these
No.
other issues. You
But
know,
right now isn't a time you should be worried about divorce courts or dating. Who are you going to date
no.
when you're dead?
Or when if you're sterile, what's the point?
Yeah. Are you going to be sterile and you ain't going to be able to freaking create a kid anyhow? Okay, so you won't be able to have a family and raise a family. Sorry. Your freedoms and
Yeah, you're right.
rights are all being stripped out from underneath you right now. And you still ain't going to rise up. No, I'd rather lose all my freedom and bend over.
No, the only person they'll stand up to is somebody in a lower position than them. That's the only type of standing up you'll see.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It is just absolutely ridiculous.
It's the majority of humanity are slaves. They just do what they're told. And as I say, if you don't do what they're told, they'll try and make you do what they're told. And they go along with their leader, their tribe leader, and he's allowed to do whatever he wants, but everybody else is a slave. It's disappointing. And at the moment, we're seeing the rest of our free will go out the window.
That's it. And you're going to watch the rest of your free will go right out the window. You're going to watch everything go out the window. And all of these guys over here in the manosphere that are too busy competing against each other to think it's all a game, a sport, an arena. And we got to one up each other, man. We couldn't stand together. You got no room to complain about what's getting ready to happen to you because you wasn't willing to stand with anybody else to begin with. Okay, so you're actually complicit with your own demise. I mean, they're leading you to a cliff right now. And once they get you to the cliff, they're just going to shove you over the edge and you're going to fall to your death. And what can I say? Because you willingly followed them. You didn't turn around and go the other direction and say up yours.
Unfortunately, every generation's been like that. Like, I believe the baby boomers were given feminism for the first time, and 10 or 20 years after that, you had the HIV scare. And 10 or 20 years after that, you had the sexual revolution, where they basically promoted, fucking like rabbits and promiscuity and destroying your ability to pair bond or have anything serious, any real love, just lust.
Yeah. I like the last comment, okay? The last comment says people love to live in lies. They hate the truth. You got to tell me that. I've been being attacked for a long time for being honest with you. People hate what I say, man. Ain't that one of the reasons I'm so hated? Because I might tell the truth and hurt your little feelers.
Because you have care, you're a nice person, and you tell the truth. Yep.
How dare him tell the truth that hurt my feelers?
That's been going on for a long time, since Jesus even. That's why he was put on the cross for that. They hated him more than Barabbas, the murderer.
Yeah, they've been telling you, even if it's true or false statements, false, regardless of what. Think about it. What was he prosecuted? Why was he crucified? Oh, because he cared. That's right. He wanted truth and cared. Oh, that makes you weak. You care about somebody else, so you must be weak. You must be pathetic.
Yeah, for 2,000 years, if you've been a good person, you've been told you're going to get crucified for doing it.
Living in lies is easier. It takes work to uncover and understand the truth. Yeah, well, I understand that, Reverend 20 Piece. It does. But if you're not willing to put the effort into recognizing truth and realizing truth isn't your enemy is the lies you're living in. It may seem easier to you, but I guess it's pretty easy for you to allow them to put a gun to the back of your head and pull the trigger too, huh? Well, I don't want that. Well, of course you do.
Another piece of truth that's sad to admit is that we're only like 1 out of 7 billion people. We're so small and tiny and powerless, really.
Oh, yeah.
That the rest of these people go along with that tool.
Because they keep going along with it. You got all these people that sold you out for the tool, man, because they want to get ahead. And it was so
Dragging us
easy for
down.
these bankers. They own all the monetary systems. They can print endless amounts of it. So, we
Hmm.
offer you freaking what, 94, $96,000 a year start? Oh my God. Oh yeah, I gotta have that job. Yeah, I'm gonna be above other people. I'm gonna be a god status. No, you're not. You're gonna be a retard.
That's been going on for 40 years, or basically since the Federal Reserve.
Why?
So that's been going on for hundreds of years at least, and bankers have had total
You
control.
got bad
And
timing.
before that,
You can't talk in the live stream. You don't know how to talk. They ain't gonna understand meow
is that your cat?
Yes, I got meow in my lap. He's looking at me, Dad, Dad. No, you don't get another treat right now. And if you'd like to talk in the live stream, start talking. I don't think they'll understand you, but go ahead.
And maybe if we tell more truth or more sense, his input is valid.
Oh yeah, you're a big help. Yep, I can see. Yep. He's in the middle of my lap, loving me up. Yep. I know. You got this timing. Yes, you do.
Wants a treat. So what if you're in a live stream, Dad? Quit that. I'm your son.
That's right. This is my new baby.
Fur
He
baby.
has a body of fur and a tail and 4 legs and
And he gives you his love and attention.
yep, and he gives me lots of love and attention, sleeps with me, becomes a nuisance.
Doesn't like drama. That's a good start.
Well, Reverend 20 Piece, I used to buy Meow Mix and told him, it's yours because it's got your name on it. Okay, you go back over here. There you go. I just booted him off my lap. Yep. I'm a terrible daddy.
Yeah. Bill's busy. It's in a live stream.
You didn't want to talk, so I can't let you in the live stream. Of course, they wouldn't have understood you anyhow, but.
Meow, meow.
That's right. He'll be going meow, meow.
Well, what does that mean?
Oh, well, I don't know. All mixed up. Meow mix. Maybe that's what's
Yeah.
wrong with America. The people have been eating too much meow mix and they're all mixed up. I can't see what's going on around them.
Yeah. Well, a lot of the stuff they put into them cat food is like fraudulent proteins or whatever, because it's cheaper and that kind of ruins the animal's health. So a lot of them get kidney disease and die.
Yeah. You can't even be an animal and not be genocided by these sick idiots.
No. They eat food too, you see, so they're a problem. Only they're allowed to do that, our bosses. And of course, that's why our bosses have seized the means of production. They've seized all the land, or they own big amounts of land, which they don't even allow useful. They just have it there and they own it.
That's it.
So they have the food, and then they won't give you that land. They won't sell it to you because they own it, and they're not allowing you to have it. And then they have you working their jobs to try and get this money so that you can have a little bit of the food or whatever that they allow you to have. Meanwhile, they're not allowing you to access this land to get some real wealth for yourself because they own it. So they've had control for a very long time.
Yeah, and right now they're busy burning. I was looking at some pictures this morning on a freaking video I watched, and she was showing pictures from California up in the mountains areas that's already burned.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what's funny about it? You got both sides of a road going up into the mountains that had houses on both sides all the way up and down it, right? All the trees and all the grass is green and growing, and all the houses itself is completely disintegrated.
What a coincidence.
It's like, hold on. You're going to tell me this burned up and it didn't burn any of the trees, didn't burn any of the grass, and only the houses? Something's wrong with that picture.
That's what you call a coincidence theory, if you believe that to be an accident.
I'm looking at them pictures going, really? What's wrong with this picture?
It's kind of fucked up.
It is. Now, I don't know who all's been up here doing live streams. I haven't kept track. I'll bet you lie. I'll bet you Steve Hoke hasn't done nothing.
I'm not sure, to be honest. I don't really watch much
Yeah.
YouTube anymore.
I see where Hell by the Dashboard lights come up a couple of times since I've been around, but that's about it. Haven't noticed anything out of Hoke outside of his last one, and I haven't noticed anything out of him.
Well, I wonder, they're just taking a break from it, then, are they?
Yeah, who knows? I mean, maybe it'd be better off to take a break because it ain't gonna matter. With what's going on right now, if people don't get their heads out of their what and start standing up and saying no and not complying, they're all gonna wish the hell they hadn't.
Yeah, I mean, what? I believe you're telling the most truth out of any of these characters, Bill. What you're talking about, you're the only one who should be listened to.
Yeah, well, I got a person here that says Hoka's gone into hiding. He's turned against you, Bill. Well, you know what? I could care less. I didn't do anything to the guy, but I totally disrespect the guy for the last thing that he did do. Okay? I don't have respect for that kind of crap. Think about it. He talked about TFL for almost 14 years. And then out of nowhere, he just threw fucking TFL under the bus. That's right. So he could run the incel. That way he could be truly an incel. I hope you enjoy being a true incel. I hope you enjoy that jail cell, because that's what that is. Incel, jail cell. Yep. Hope you enjoy that. Yep. Go ahead. I don't care.
Well,
I just
incel
don't
is,
care anymore, man. Why should I care? You cannot help people that don't want help, and you can't fix stupid. Okay, I understand the corruption of the genders. I understand you're not going to blah blah. See, it takes both genders to correct themselves, not one. It's our behaviors that cause the problems we have. And it's not just women, it's both genders. But you can't get that through the guys' heads because they think somehow they're mistake free. No, they're not. They're sitting here following suit with the programming just like the females are. The only
yeah.
difference is the female was placed upon a pedestal. And people turned their head and allowed double standards to happen and didn't hold women accountable. That's the only
Well,
difference.
they do have preferential treatment, by the law. Like, they get more employment, more likely, and of course, the divorce courts favor them.
Yeah. Well,
But
unfortunately, no fault divorce. That's just another tool to cause friction and hate between the genders. It was anything they could to separate and divide the genders, and they done just that.
yeah, unfortunately,
Yeah.
even all the media today, like, they have, these women and men attacking each other, trying to dominate each other for the power trip over who can wear the pants in the relationship and all this.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
It's really sick. It's going to destroy any chance you have of making anything serious and long lasting because you're all treating each other like trash.
I just don't really personally care, because the reality is, Lauren Hiker says, okay, Bill asked people not to drive a wedge between them last winter. Okay, yeah, but nobody can do that unless a person's willing to allow it. Okay? And obviously, Mr. Hoke allowed it, didn't he? Okay, so what can I say? But I can say this, you got this strike three rule. Strike one, strike two, strike three, you're out. Well, guess what? Strike three happened. He's out, gone, bye. That's the way I look at that. Strike three took place, bye, get out of here. I don't need it. I don't need somebody who wants to claim how awake they are and they couldn't even see what's right in their face.
Oh. Well, it's unfortunate.
It is. It is sad, but what can I do about it? Nothing. That's what I can do about it. I can't help people who don't want help. If I give you sound advice and you listen to that sound advice, maybe one day you'd meet somebody. I can't promise it because the corruption's on both sides. The
I believe
corruption
you
is
talk the
literally
most
on both
sense.
sides.
You know, out of all the people in the manosphere, you're telling the most truth and sense in that aspect.
You know, when it actually takes both genders pulling their heads out of their you know what and treating each other properly for anything to be fixed. But when you're all busy trying to run for your power, chase your power, be over somebody else, and be above somebody else, and when you're all toxic, then you get what you deserve. Because nobody wants to
Mm.
be treated like dirt. Not man or woman deserves to be treated like dirt by another human being.
No, no, definitely not.
But that's what we see going on a regular basis because it's all competition. You know, Harry and I talked about this before. You go from the very first sports arena that was ever brought in. You take that sports arena and you look at what they done there. It was competition between two teams. Then we branched that competition into the workplace and into the dating scene. And everything becomes about competition. How do you get ahead in society? You compete. And those who can dump on somebody else and wipe their feet on their face and do the best job of kissing ass, excuse my language, okay, are the ones that get ahead, right? And
Right.
everybody else don't get ahead. It's no different in the dating scene. You're all competing against each other. Then you wonder why you have so much hatred toward each other. I'm telling you, man, they've done a wonderful job on people's brains.
Well, the whole workplace is set up so the more power you have, the less work you do. And also, if you ever have to blame anybody or crucify anybody, you can do that to the people who have less power than you, the ones below your position.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful way of blaming those without power while rewarding those with power, even though the ones with the power do less work.
Yeah. Well, you notice that in a workplace, man, the ones that do less work get paid more than the people that are breaking their damn ass.
Yeah, they have to do the work, and then if anything goes wrong, it's blamed on them. They get the abuse and they get yelled at by the supervisor.
Yeah, if they get yelled at by the supervisor, they get fired, they get blah, 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 blah. And then meanwhile, the people that are doing the less amount of work are the ones making all the benefits and money. See, it's
Yeah.
upside down again, man. Everything is upside down on its freaking head. Everything is.
Yeah, they literally the assholes who just sit behind the desk and do nothing all day, but a few phone calls, get paid like 3 times as much as the ones on their feet operating the machine for 12 hours straight.
That's it. Well, you know, I don't back off on the fact when I see first took Steve Hoke away from Bill. No, Steve Hoke took Steve Hoke away from Bill. He's the one that disrespected me. And I don't care if first is the one that instigated his behavior. He controls his behavior, not somebody else, unless he's weak. Then that means he's too weak to be speaking up anyhow because he can't even control his own behavior. And if you can't control your own behavior, you got nobody to blame but yourself. The one thing I will tell you is First lives right outside of Silicon Valley, in the part of California everybody fled from that only the rich can live in. So he's either the spoiled rich kid, but I would suggest he works for the United Nations because there's too much to suggest that he actually does. That would make him dangerous to begin with. He's never ever proved otherwise that he don't work for him. But the one thing that I do know for a fact, because Steve didn't listen and I got First's phone number and Googled it, the guy is living where nobody else can live unless they have a lot of money.
I like the fact as well he talks on Hokut's live streams about what does he say, the only porn they make nowadays is that of dogs and black guys. And then in Hokut's live stream, like half a year later, that's what the troll uses on his stream.
Yeah.
That's never a coincidence with the guy.
It was a quinky dink, right?
Yeah, that's what we're supposed to believe, right?
So, you know, I can't look at First on that one because it's still Steve that made the decision to come on my live stream and disrespect me in front of everybody. Okay? It's still Steve that done that. He's the one that threw everybody in TFL under the bus, just like Dwayne Holloway did years ago. Nobody told him to do that. He did that all on his little own. Hell, I ain't gonna say that. You know, I can't believe how easily Steve fell in love with First.
Sailing off into the sunset.
There you go. He sailed off into the sunset with first.
But nobody pointed a gun at my head and told me to come on your stream tonight. Nobody done that.
No, not at all. Nobody pointed a gun at Harry. Harry's
Nobody.
here because he chose to be here, not because somebody pointed a gun at him.
No, same as these other guys. Nobody forced him. A gun.
I'm not doing anything regularly anymore. I'm watching the show come in. Now and again, if I feel like a rant, I'll jump up here and let you know I'm still alive. Until I can't jump up here no more because I'm either not alive no more, or NWO has finished getting their way with you people. Okay? And y'all been overtaking it.
Unfortunately, we're so far along the war now that fighting back, the longer you take the fight back, the harder it's going to be. And we've waited too long.
Well, unfortunately,
not you, but
I would have to say that fighting back is almost next to none because there's a very, very slim chance we could stop them now. The only way to really stop them now is going to be through massive numbers on a global scale. And this is the reason I give London and Germany kudos because they got more balls than anybody anywhere else.
They do, yeah. Even then, I don't think that's enough. They're going to have to take more action than that.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yep. It's going to have to be more action than that. Like, how about people get together by the hundreds and hundreds of thousands and go after the 13 families? How about shutting down your government and taking people out of positions? How about reconstructing the system and taking all these fucking criminal freaks for freaking money and locking them up?
That sounds like a step in the right direction, Bill.
That would be a step that would need to happen if you're ever going to stop what's going on. And if you're all too cowardly, if people are too cowardly to do that, then, well, they're going to get what cowards get. Okay? History's replaying itself right now in your face. And you want to keep turning your head, looking the other way, thinking it'll magically go away. No, it's not going to magically go away. You're just complicit with allowing it to happen is all you are.
Exactly. It's a nice hole in the ground with your name on it, and that's what you're going to get.
It's probably a big hole in the ground. They'll drop your bodies all in there, man. Maybe you'll finally get to be above somebody else. As your body lands on top of somebody else's, you'll be above that person.
They'll make some good fertilizer.
That's it. So there's your mentality of being above somebody else. That's what got us here, and that's also what's going to get you dead. And you know who I feel sorry for? Is the children and the people who are awake. Because the people who are awake that's been trying to tell you that you called nuts and you blew off and you didn't listen to, they're victims of yours. Because you was too dumb, too stupid to be alive. That's why they're your victim. Because the majority are just that. Anymore, I look at people as the majority are too stupid to be alive anyhow.
But for I have to say, for the people who have been criticizing us and calling us nuts for like years now, I have a video on your channel from August of last year where I talked about how to drop a virus, and that would be how they implemented the next step of the big plan. That was in August, before any of this happened, right?
Yes.
And it's like I wasn't telling the future. I mean, I could see this happening before it happened, and I even said, to be using racial divisions too, and that's like your BLM. So
I know
everything.
And then it just all materialized, right? It wasn't because he was some fortune teller. He was paying attention to what's really going on, just like I have. And I guess that's the difference between me and Harry and a lot of people. We actually look into stuff and we pay attention to what's going on around us.
Yeah, you can, what do you call it? You can criticize my character. You can make a video joking at me or Bill or whatever. But the truth is that we were telling the truth before any of this even happened. And do you have a video of you, saying this was going to happen before it happened? Or you probably don't.
Yeah.
So really, it just goes to show how you're not worth our time, basically.
Yeah.
If you disagree with
Unfortunately.
us.
Yeah. Well, guys, we're over a little over an hour into this stream, so I'm going to cut it. I'll possibly pop up another day again, so keep your eyes open. Next time I feel like doing a rant, I'll come back up here. But I'm going to jump off the live stream for now, guys. But hey, I
Right.
appreciate Harry. Just stay put, Harry. We can still talk. But for the live stream part, I'm going to get on out of here. And I'm still around. I'm still alive. So's Harry. You know, when I feel like ranting again, I'll come up. But until then, you know, now I'm not doing a weekly show no more. Not worth it. I'm just going to watch the show come in. With that, guys, I'm out of here.